back to part 2 of this webinar, and we're looking at finding sweet spots in your business, and we're going to talk about profitability and efficiency. Just some simple stuff here. Make sure when you're thinking about efficiency that you're not putting more business through an incapable system. So one of the things here to think about is waste and inefficiency, and think about doing a 7 waste audit. Again, that's a tool on the MindShop toolbox that you can go and have a look at, 7 wastes, and it's about lean manufacturing and some of those thinkings. But make sure you're thinking about efficiency and how you, where the key bottlenecks in your business that are going to stop you from doing the things that you want to do. Just take a couple of minutes to have that overview and say, where are the key areas that I really need to build some efficiency in order to have a competitive advantage in the marketplace. So I want you to take a second to think that through. Press pause, and when you're ready to start again, press play. Okay, now we're thinking about profit. This is a really simple technique for just helping you to think about things. Basically, the profit formula says sales minus overheads minus variable costs should equal profit. Of course, my calculation here is wrong because 1200 minus 300 minus 800 is actually 100, not 0. So my apologies for that. Just as well, I'm not your accountant. This is quite a simple exercise, really, because all you do is say, what are some of the things we can do, and brainstorm a whole heap of things to increase sales. Very simple technique. You just put down the idea and what you think it's worth to you in more sales, and so you just keep putting them down. The second one is then you say, what do we do to decrease our overhead expenditures? Same thing. What's the idea? What can we do? Decreasing overheads is often far harder than you think, because a lot of our costs are fixed, rent, salaries, staff numbers, those sorts of things. And again, the 7 waste process can help you work out how you're going to do more with the same level of resources rather than the same with less resources. So think about more doing that. And the last one is in variable expenses. What can you do to drive down your variable expenses? And just have a think about them. Sometimes it's about changing partners or strategic alliances, or talking to your trade partners and saying, we need to reduce our costs. What can we do together? I don't expect you to drop your costs, your charges for me, but what can we do to be more efficient together and improve efficiencies across our businesses? So again, I want you to press pause. I want you to identify 2 or 3 strategies under each of the sections above, and then identify what the top 2 or 3 ideas are. So brainstorm a heap of them and then go back and pull out the ones that are going to have the biggest impact. Press pause, and when you're ready to come back and do some more, press play. Okay, let's talk about sales and marketing. A little bit of overlap here with the previous section around profitability. That's a bit hard not to do that, but let's talk about it. The first thing is sales pipelines. What sort of sales pipeline do you have in your business? Do you have a clearly defined sales pipeline or sales forecast? It is one of the key things that you need to have in your business. A small business like mine, I have a pipeline that I update regularly. What is your pipeline? Now, the successful elements of a pipeline are normally one that tracks your rough sales process. So this one here has milestones. If you look in the middle, milestones are about leads, opportunities, demonstration, prospect, negotiation, and order 1. Now you need to map out what the process, your process is, that leads you through to a sale, and then block the milestones and measure the level of opportunity you have currently in the business at that point, the number of projects, and I like to measure the probability. Now, if you'd like a simple pipeline that I've already set up in a spreadsheet, just send me an email and I'll flick you through a copy if you don't already have it. But firstly, you need to have a clearly defined sales pipeline. You need to think about how you're going to manage it and monitor it, because I find lots of people measure this stuff but actually don't really sit down and spend any time looking at it, particularly if it's an automated one that's part of your CRM or something else. And then think about what all the things that can help you discover. Some of the things I've found with clients we've discovered are where our our sales process is falling down, where we need more training or more people or more resources in order to help us out, where there are problems with our offer in the marketplace that's just not being accepted, and we need to think about that. And lastly, ineffective salespeople. It's pulled all those things out. So a pipeline is really, really important. This is, I guess, about increasing sales, and marketing sales is all about sales, really, at the end of the day. And there are three components in this very simple calculation that I just love. The first one is you've got to identify how many customers you have, so how many unique customers come into your business. How often do they purchase from you, say, over a year? So in this case, we've said 10. So they purchase from us 10 times per annum. And then lastly, every time they buy a few, what is the average value of that sale? Now, if you multiply these numbers together, 2,000 by 10 by 80, you'll end up with about 1.6 million in sales. Now, you need to understand what these numbers are for your business first up. Now, they're normally reasonably easy to pull out of bookkeeping systems like MYOB and those sort of stuff. It's not hard to look at the number of customers we have, the average number of invoices that we put out per customer, and then the average sale per invoice will give you all these numbers, and you can look at them. And then what you can do is you can actually start to brainstorm and say, what are some of the things we've got to do to increase these areas? So, number of customers, we need to put in a social media strategy, or increase our advertising to get more sales, or purchase another company to give us more customers. So what are we going to do there to actually, what are some of the things we can brainstorm and do? And they're often around client acquisition programs. Average number of annual purchases, increasing those can be about special offers. It's about 90-day contacts, and I've been on to nearly all of you about 90-day contacts and how we need to put those in place. Probably the most effective thing you can do in your business. And, could also be more training of your salespeople. Increasing average sale is often around bundling of products and services or other products together. Simple things, like do you want any fries with your order, improving product quality, all those sorts of things, getting people to think about margins and all that sort of stuff. So, well worth thinking about those things. So again, just take the time to identify 2 or 3 strategies, pick your top 2 or 3 ideas. So press pause when you've done that thinking, come back to me again. Technology and social media. Let's talk a little bit about it. Social media is, I guess, something that's really been in the news lately, and I've been talking to lots of you about that. But social media is often a discussion around the tools. What tools am I going to use? I'm going to use Facebook. I'm going to use Twitter. I'm going to use LinkedIn. What am I going to use? Reddit. Well, all these other ones. MySpace, whatever. There's heaps of them out there. Often what you need to have is a strategy first. And I think it's really important that you take the time to formulate a social media strategy and say, how am I going to integrate this with our existing business model? A couple of things that you want to get your head around. Google have done a great service to the industry and put out a book. Obviously, they've got a vested interest in this, but they've put out a great ebook, and you can download it in a whole range of different formats, called the Zero Moment of Truth, or ZMOT, or ZMOT as they call it. Simply type ZMOT into the Google search bar, and it will take you to the Zero Moment of Truth website, where you can then download the book in a various range of things. And what it talks about is the link between social media and traditional marketing activities. Some other books you might want to think about is Malcolm Gladwell's book called The Tipping Point, which is about how things go viral. So how little things become massive things, and that's really good. And the other one is Groundswell by Charlene Lee, and it's about social media and how you integrate that. I would certainly start with Zmot. It's an easy read. It's got videos in it. It's very clever, and it's worth thinking about. And for me, it made that real link between traditional marketing and social media. So it's worthwhile doing. Then you need to think about your social media strategy. So one of the things you need to think about here, and I'll just go quickly through the strategy. It's first about listening. So before you come up with your strategy and so what you're going to do, log on to a few blogs and forums and join some groups on LinkedIn and Facebook and some other things just to see what's going on, and particularly where your target market is doing and what they're listening to and what they're doing. Then seek to understand that. So once you've listened a bit, understand it. Break your target market down into different groups, and then think about how they will interact in a social media environment and make things happen. And then lastly, work out how you're going to engage with them. What platforms will you use to engage with them? Whether it's Twitter, Facebook, emails, video, YouTube, all that sort of stuff. Once you've worked out that engagement strategy, you can also then start to think about using online media, so paid advertising and social media and other things to help you get some leverage in that marketplace and attract that target market. And then finally, we need to make sure we're measuring and reacting and responding in appropriate ways to the social media that we've set up. So again, I want you to take a couple of minutes and I want you to identify where the social media gaps are in your business at present. Think about the things that you might need to do and what you might need to do about them. Write them down, and we'll talk some more. So press pause. When you're ready to come back, press play. Okay, welcome back. So this last section is about refining your plans for 2012. I guess the important thing in here is I want you to do a couple of things. I want you to understand where you are now, and then I want you to define where you would like to be at the end of 2012. So take some time to really think about that and what you're going to do by the end of 2012. Press pause, and then when you're ready, when you've done the now and the where, come back. Okay. So now I want you, when you've done the now and the where, I want you to think about, particularly about the where, is what are some of the ideas that you've been thinking about through this session that are going to help you ensure that you will achieve your 2012 goals? So what are some of the things that you need to do? What are the must-dos that have dropped out of these discussions today that you know you must do if you're going to achieve your goals for 2012? I want you to summarise them into a one-page plan, and I want you to email it to somebody like me who can hold you accountable. But it could be a business partner, it could be your life partner, it could be somebody else. I'd like you to CC it to me so at least I can harass you about it, but I'd really like you to do that and put them in. So just quickly, a one-page plan. We've got plenty of templates for these, and I'll send you one if you need one, or there's some on the Mindshop site. They're basically, three sections. Where are we now? Where do we need to be? The strategies, the big rocks, and the 3 or 4 big things that you must do in the next year, and the action plans then are the detail for how you're going to do them. If you've gone to the Mindshop site and you're having trouble with these action plans, you can go to the Mindshop site and there's a problem-solving routine that'll help you develop some actions and some plans for each of these things. It's a free training program. It says 2 or 3 hours, but it'll take you, once you get used to it, you can whip through it very quickly to help you develop plans for all these things moving forward. So press pause, fill out your one-page plan and come back and we'll do a quick summary. I'm running out of time, so the summary today is really take some time to have a look through the Business Leader Resource Centre. If needs be, use a private planning forum. There's some great tools and resources there. Think about the trends in business and leadership that we talked about in the first part of the presentation, and then remember that the sweet spots can be easy to find but may be difficult to adapt to your organisation. Think about what you need to do. Stay focused on the 3 or 4 key sweet spots you need for 2012. Put into a one-page plan and make you stay accountable. So all the best. I wish you all the best of success for 2012. I look forward to working with you closely on your plans and helping you to implement them and cracking them with you as your coach. And I'm looking forward to a great year. Thanks.